Guys, so today I'm on chapter 3. It's finally happening, and I'm gonna see if I can do all of this in one day, in one whole video. One whole video. I say one whole video. Oh my gosh, this camera's naughty. I just went to church today. Hey guys, are you happy that I'm playing this? I'm on chapter 3. I don't know what's happening. Looks like there's a Bendy clock. What are you doing, bro? I can't hit you. It's not rude. Nothing in there because I can't click on that panic. Oh, can I sleep here? Oh, I can. Oh, Boris! Looks like your nose is ripped a tiny bit. What's in here? Yeah. Ew! This is Boris's underwear. There's a small underwear, there's a medium underwear, and a big underwear. And everything else, Boris! Okay, it actually works. Oh, we know that works. Oh, do we need a bag? Talk to Boris. Buddy. Boris, buddy.
That hoodie. That's the hoodie I was talking about.
What the? What happened here? So there's a Bendy. That's a Bendy face. That's an Alice nose. That's an Alice. What is happening? Alice has a tutu. Are these just a bunch of mixed up papers? Is that supposed to be an eyeball? That's creepy. Buddy.
Lay down. Quit walking around the table. Go lay down.
Magnus, go lay down. Smash my hot dog. You're in plenty of trouble.
Oh,
Really just
I don't
get
know
it around.
what I just having hot dog salad? Hot dog salad? We can't talk to Boris. I just love that song. I just forgot you guys are watching. Hi, Boris, buddy. Here, me and Lever. Boris, don't. Oh, we need bacon. Oh, we need 3 bacon soup.
Church, can I have a few of your
Okay, that's
salad
one.
Por favor.
Found one.
Gracias.
Another. That's welcome. Here's 2. I'm missing one more. Who's half for me? I like to lick one side, and then I eat the other side. Yeah. I need one more bacon soup. I don't see any more bacon soup. Oh, it's in here. It's open. That should be enough. Why is there a bowl right there? I think I can get that on the board. Are you guys laughing about my video?
No.
Good. Okay. Boris, I'm gonna bake you something. Oh, we can. What's gonna wait for you?
Oy, 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 oy.
Oh, we have a bowl.
Freed Boris from his evil machine thing?
No, that's on chapter 4, I think.
What chapter are
Actually,
you
I
on?
don't know what's on chapter 4.
What chapter are you on?
Chapter 3. I think Boris turns evil on chapter 4.
Where did my dessert go?
Oh, Boris, are you getting evil? Boris, tell us. Looks like this. Oh, it looks like it's dark. Never mind. Boris, okay, good, you're following me. I don't want you to get lost. Okay, oh my gosh. Guys, I'm scared. What's happening? Hope this isn't the end of the chapter already. There's a bunch of slime bobs. Slime bobs? What is that? Press. Where's the last? Where is your scared, bro? Well, then don't go in front of me. Okay, you have to go in front of me, and I'm going to stay behind you. That's why you have to stop in one place. This is really scary because it's really dark. I didn't know that boys could get scared. When is it the end of this? Please don't tell me when it's Wait! Go talk to Boris. Hey, Boris, buddy. Oh! Oh my gosh. Hope you open up this door for me. Open it. Okay, he's not gonna open up the door. Hope he does, but I don't think he is. Yep, he's not. See? It's a waste of time.
Waste of time.
Oh, he's not. Get me out of here. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Wow.
You gotta figure out what
I
Don's
don't know
rate.
what we have to figure out. Hope there's no inky stairs.
They told him $600 a month, but there might be times where he gets paid more than twice in a month. Like he gets paid on the 11th, so that's one. So in the new year, since it's the new year now,
A Bendy, a Boris, a Alice, and an ink machine. That's weird. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
What is jamming this?
We know that there's always going to be two pay periods a month, though, right?
Oh, what
at least
happened?
there could be
least two.
3.
I know.
Okay?
But if there's always at least two, just take it out of the first two every month.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, but that's too hard to remember.
I think that would be easier to remember.
What?
Well, let's figure it out. You might be right. So we got payday this Friday, and then we got payday on the 25th. That's the paydays for January.
So it looks.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm watching well. Why did I do this? That should be good. Okay. So this is the thing about the skin. Everybody
Pay
knows
on the
about
8th,
the
and then
skin.
the 22nd. That's February.
Tizzy.
Then you pay on the 8th. Ace, shut up!
He's on YouTube making a live video.
Yeah.
And the 23rd is a.
Okay. Count.
And the second's a payday.
Oh. Okay, now it's on. I don't know how I'm counting this one.
like May has 3 paydays.
I'm trying this. I'm trying it. Okay. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Let's see if we can unlock this. All of them are going. Okay, good. What does that do? Hey, everything keep here. Wait, what is this supposed to be about? Daddy, look. Daddy, look. Oh. What is happening? That's Alice. Hi, Alice Amy. Why is it so dark? Guys, this is making me get scared. So dark. Guys. Oh, hi, Alice Amy. Look.
As far as I can tell, there's 24 paydays
So dark.
next year. I'll have to count that again, but that's what I think.
What time? Oh, we were moving in for next weekend.
Why is it all
No,
dark?
it was this weekend.
I talked to him about it, and he's like, I'm not moving until the end of the month. And I was like, okay. He
That's
said
not
this
next weekend
weekend,
either.
and he said next weekend.
Oh
No, he's supposed to be moving today. Like this weekend.
Right, I asked him about it. He says he's not moving stuff in until the end of the month. So, okay, when do you want to move in, Donnie? That's what I asked him.
And calm down. End of the month's not next weekend either.
No, it's not, but that's what you said. So I'm like, okay, I'll get it out early, I'll get it done when you want it done. Even though he says he's not going to be moving in. That way it's done.
Okay.
So,
So the end of this month,
no.
like now, you're saying it's done now?
no, it's not done now. You said next weekend.
Right.
You said,
Which is now, this weekend.
Angel?
you meant this weekend.
Yeah.
I want to go to the angel.
So I asked Donnie, that's why I asked Donnie. I said, Donnie, when do you want to move in? When are you gonna move in?
You don't even ask Donnie. You just need to talk to me. Donnie's not part of the equation. He is moving in.
Susie,
But-
Campbell.
You're mixing a message. I can't control what Donnie said, but him and I have been talking about him moving in this weekend.
Hi, Bendy. You're cool.
And that's what him and I have talked about. I don't know what he's confused about. I don't know why he's thinking it's next weekend or the end of the month or whatever.
Well, he told me, he's like, I've already paid my rent for this month and all that.
Okay.
Well, he told me he's ready to move in anytime.
Hello?
Clearly there's miscommunication. Like I said,
Because I asked him, I said, when do you want to move
you don't
in?
need to talk to Donnie about it.
I understand that, but I already did talk to him about it.
I know he did. From now on, you don't need to talk to him about it.
I get that.
Him and I have looked it out, and he was planning to come this weekend. He said he's ready to go anytime. I don't know what he's talking about with you. I don't know what he's got in his mind, but that's what him and I talked about. So, I could find out from him. I don't think it has to be tonight, but that's what him and I had talked about, that it was supposed to be this weekend. But the best thing to do is to just get it cleaned out so we can come in anytime.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
I get
or
that.
if he wants to like bring stuff, throughout the week.
Over a course of time, instead of doing one big move.
That's right, I've been filling up garbage bags, and throwing them out, because I have, I don't know how I got that many clothes. I was getting clothes, and I stuck the other stuff over there, getting clothes, but just, don't get it. So I'm having to throw away a lot of clothes, and I have a hard time with some of that. It's like, oh, good shirt.
The butcher gay, Daddy, watch.
Anyway,
Keep only that which sparks joy.
Butcher gang, you're evil. Oh, wait, are you a guy from the butcher
right,
gang?
I mean, that's what I've kept so far, sparking joy.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm gonna flip this. Okay. It's all in my.
Well, I can sit and talk to him and find out, has he changed his mind about when he's wanting to move in? Because
Yeah, I wish you would
he made it very clear to me that he was ready to go at any time.
Right.
And I says, well, you could come in this weekend if you want. That was early last week. agreed, said that would be cool for him to do. If he's paid for his rent and doesn't want to leave quite yet, that's all news to me. I haven't heard anything about
Well,
it.
that's what he told me. I don't.
Was this last week that you talked about it with him?
Yeah, it was like Friday. I thought. I said, you know, because I wanted to know. I wanted to know, and if when you said this weekend, well, you know, he's obviously he's going to be the one bringing stuff and all that. I want to make sure that I was ready, you know. And
perhaps there's a misunderstanding. He, like I said, he made it very clear to me when I talked to him that he was planning to come in this weekend. Basically, can you hear us talking? Don't interrupt, please, son.
I need to hear this.
He made it very clear to me that that was what he was planning to do and that he was ready to go at any time. He said, I've already paid for my rent because he did say he paid for his rent because he pays for his rent early every time he pays for it. But he sounded like that was not something that he's wanting to get out of there as soon as possible. And I'd rather him start at the beginning of the month too, close to the beginning of the month. That's just easier. So obviously we can't wait till the end of the month because we're only in like what, the 7th now?
Yeah, we're still in the first
Beginning of the month.
week of the month. Today's the 6th.
So the best thing to do is just to get it cleaned out so he can move in anytime he wants. Clearly there's some miscommunication with him. I can talk to him about it again tomorrow. Make sure that he wants to come in right now. Because, yeah, you made that very clear. He's ready to go, raring to go. He is over that place. It's a disaster over there. Yeah, so just get it ready.
Well, you know, it's like I don't want to kill myself today trying to get ready for him to move in tonight. You know, I didn't realize it was this
Is that
weekend,
you?
next weekend.
You have a brother.
So, you know, if I have to get a few days to get it done.
Have we been talking about this a couple weeks ago? Clean out.
No. But I've actually thrown out some bags. I have. Prior to you saying Donnie was gonna move in.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't make me feel like I'm surprising you with it, because it's
No, I
something
mean,
we've had a
the
little
Donnie
bit of
thing
time.
is just the past week or so.
That's true. I didn't let you know about the Donnie thing,
But you taking over the trailer, yes. It's been about, you know, a month or maybe about a month. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I'll talk with him and I'll lock down. How about get it mostly there today, and then we find out what days he wants to start bringing stuff in. So if you have it mostly there, then, and he can help you clean it too. I don't think he'll have any problem with that. You know, I think he can do some of the work to get it ready. I think he's happy to do that. So I don't think you need to feel like you're killing yourself to get it ready or whatever, but
It'd probably be cool if we just told him, take the last 2 weeks of January to start bringing your stuff over, so that he's totally moved out of his old place and ready to move in by the 1st of the month.
now we want it to be sooner than that. Number one, the money. The sooner we can have him start paying for rent, the money, it's money we're missing out on.
So the last 2
It's
weeks of the month.
$300 a paycheck we're missing out on. Every time a check goes by that's out. And that's not my primary concern. But like I said, he's been like, I'm ready, let's do it. You know, he's mentioned that to me a number of times.
I don't think he wants to disappoint
He's
you.
come up to me.
I don't have any.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think part of him doesn't want to disappoint you.
I brought it up to him and I was like, you know, I'm thinking I might rent this out. Actually, I talked to him about downstairs originally. I said, you know, we were talking about, you know, other ways we can make income.
Right.
We might think about renting downstairs. Problem is with the septic. And then the thing with the trailer changed. And I was like, you know, that's better than he has his own private space and he doesn't have to listen to us. Because it's really loud downstairs. Plus, because without the carpet, it's like you hear every footstep. It's great for guests. Mom and dad come. It's great for them to stay. But it's not really someplace somebody would want to live for like ever, you know? So,
It wouldn't be bad if the septic thing was a problem.
I don't know, it's really loud. You hear everything.
Really?
Every time he's running back and forth, it's like, it just echoes down there.
You have a pimple then.
Yeah, but that's kind of one of those things you kind of take on when you take on renting.
Yes, but
You know?
I've
I've
lived
had a lot of
under,
apartments.
lived under people, and that shit drove me nuts. Hearing people stomp around and be loud all the time, it just gets under your skin after a while. You start to resent it. So, but this works out fine because we need to have a guest space still.
Right.
We need to have a place to put people when they come stay. We've still got the inventory room, which people can crash on the bunk bed. Like Jim Owens is coming out to stay for Grand National. We'll put him in that room. So he'll be able to sleep in that room, have a comfortable bed, in a private space. You can close the door and bathroom. But he could also stay downstairs. It's just a septic scenario. I never know. Now that I know how to drain it and use the pump to clean it out, you know, to like make space, it doesn't bother me as bad. The problem
you
is,
know what you have to do.
I know what I got to do. If I just go out every Friday and empty it out, suck it way down, it lasts a while. I mean, I hate to do that. It's gross and it's not. But I don't know what other option I have because this other guy is just not coming to fix it. He'll like come and work on it a little bit, and then we don't see him for 3 weeks. Then he comes back and works some more, and it's like,
Like 3 special.
Yeah,
Did you come back since the holidays?
he didn't come back. Yeah, he last time he was here was New Year's Eve.
Do you have a cake?
New Year's Eve was when they were digging that big hole.
Was it Christmas Eve?
Guys, we need to go to Little Cake.
Yeah, it was Christmas Eve, not New Year's Eve. 'cause
It was
New Year's Eve
Christmas
was
Eve.
just-
What I say, New Year's?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve.
So I'm just wondering if he hasn't gotten back into the groove of things since the holidays.
Yeah, it was Christmas Eve that he was here. He came to do it because he said he didn't want our septic overflowing. And I was like, well, we got a pump, so that's been keeping things at bay a little bit. And they were actually, he grabbed the pump and they were out there using it for something or other, I don't know.
For the small
The
hole.
pump works good as long as it's working.
They probably just didn't want to drag one of their hoses way over there by the walkway.
I think one problem I had is I went out there, first of all, you're kind of frantic because the basement's just flooded, so you're trying to clear that up. And so you're like, and I'm trying to put that stupid hose on, and it's not threading right onto that plastic threads, which you saw, you went back and you corrected it, and I tried like 4 times threading it on. The biggest problem with that pump is that the damn hose is so rigid.
Yeah.
It's rock hard, and it just wants to push everything a weird way, and you're like trying to screw it on, but you can't let it touch the ground because it pushes it out of alignment, and it's just a pain in the ass.
Hey guys, I don't know what I'm doing
Yeah.
now.
Just get a different hose for it, short hose for it. And
Yeah. Yeah. Just get a garden hose that's
Soft.
soft, cut it off.
not trying to repair it in the dark.
Yeah, well, that doesn't choose when it decides when it wants to flood over, but
No, but it's
I think I
always-
just need to be in the habit of
It's
going
always at night before bed.
right before bed that it does it.
The worst time
Which I
ever.
don't know how, when none of us are showering at night, we all shower in the morning, I don't know. I just give me in the habit, I'm gonna start today. I'm gonna go out there every Sunday and I'm gonna empty it way down. So I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it until the next Sunday, and then when the guy fixes it, he fixes it. It's not gonna overflow as long as I keep the water down, because what's causing the problem is the water, the liquid. It's not the poop and all that stuff, that falls to the bottom in the septic tank, it's all the liquid that's not leaching out.
It's
So
the it's the
I'm gonna force it to
bathtub,
leach
shower.
out.
Yeah, it's all the
Sink.
gray water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Bathtub, shower, sink, dishwasher, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the dishwasher is a big part of it, I didn't think about that, yeah, dishwasher.
I run that like every 3 days. It's really, that doesn't do much as far as daily operation stuff.
I mean, most of the time it floods, the water that floods up is like almost totally clear. It's like slightly colored, tan, yellow, whatever you want to call it, yellowish, but it's almost perfectly clear.
Right.
It's just water that's just, I don't know, on top, backing out. I don't know.
Yeah, shower, bathtub,
Shower.
dishes when I do dishes in the sink and
Yeah, exactly what it is.
so.
Yeah, I know you got a lot of stuff in there, I know it's way backed up, and I don't know, you know, what the condition of it is below all the stuff. I know it's kind of a big job to do, but, you know, it just needs to get done so we can have that passive income. Because we need to be making,
I understand.
we need to make money other ways. And that's all we're trying to do is we need to make money, because the payroll is quite high, and you know, and it's great. I don't have any complaints about all that stuff. I'm glad to be doing it. It's just we need to figure out ways to make more money all the time because we can't make too much money. You know, we need to always be having that in the plan. Whatever, you know, people think of. Like what did I have someone suggest to me about another way to make money with the property? What was it? You and I were talking about, weren't we talking about like nurseries, storing plants from nurseries?
Yeah, growing marijuana.
Overflow? We were talking about like having nurseries store their overflow of plants at our place. But I don't know how that would work. I don't know what to charge and what the water
Or you
cost would
you have to be, liable for water, I'm sure. It's part of that, you know. I don't know how much that was, I don't know how much water.
I don't know if it would be helpful to talk to some of these nurseries and see what they say. I don't know.
Maybe talk to Bob.
See what he
Farmer Bob.
might want to use some of the space, maybe.
Maybe that, or maybe he knows of something, you know?
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Big farmer like that, he might have equipment that he wants to store somewhere.
I know he's got his farm area over
He
there.
really doesn't have that much space. He's got that little thing right by the road
Right,
with a bunch of tubes.
yeah,
You saw the tubes, and then his house is right there. I don't think he has any other property other than the trees.
right,
But he might, you know, for all we know, he's got an area plowed out in the middle we don't know about
right.
that he's storing stuff. But I think the best thing to do with Donnie is to, I told him that what he was gonna have to do, in addition to the rent, is he's gonna have to buy a solar panel to power it. Because I don't wanna pay any power. I'm giving him fairly cheap rent. It's only $600 a month, which he's not gonna find a room that cheap anywhere. That's basically what we were charging you to live there. It's the same price. But I can't pay that additional power. I mean, I'm already paying, we haven't had a power bill under $700 since we've been here. It's a burden to be able to do that, you know? Too bad down, kid. It's too bad.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about.
But I want him to be able to pay his power. So what I'm thinking is that we just get a little solar panel that he can use for his lights and any basics he might need.
The AC's gonna need 30 amp.
The AC, you know, if there's anything that can be hooked up to the AC to make like solar wise that can make it run?
I don't think so, because that thing was blowing 110 breakers all day long.
Guys, you know what that's
I just don't think that solar is gonna be able to keep up with that kind of need for the AC.
Hey, let's see what's
Unless-
happening.
Unless he was parked in the shade
Oh,
somewhere.
cheer.
where the
Well,
sun was
what I'm
shining.
trying to do by putting him over on your side is shade your part. That's
Right.
why I'm putting him where.
Right now, that would make sense, or even then it would make, I guess, some sense, but he's gonna have to, with it being in the sun, I remember being in there. With it in the sun, it gets like an oven in there. And it's so
Or
hard.
maybe we don't wanna put the trailer over there, maybe we wanna leave the trailer where it's at.
Right,
Then, the heat of the day is not beating down on him, it's shading him.
I think I can get better window coverage.
And get some real long hoses though to reach over that.
We're not
Something.
using hoses, he's using the
Oh,
bathroom.
he's using the bathroom, yeah.
He's not gonna use the bathroom at all,
Right,
for storage,
I wouldn't.
to hang his
Yeah.
shirts.
Right.
No, it's just another thing you gotta do.
right.
He's already doing that, he's already sleeping in a shed, then he gets up to go to the bathroom. He has to go into the house, out of the shed. It's just a finished off shed, it's a little tiny room that he lives in.
Hmm.
So he's going into the house to use the bathroom anyway, and he takes all of his stuff in. So you might have to partition off part of your medicine cabinet, that medicine cabinet is quite big, I don't think there's plenty of room for
I have a
it.
couple things for my hair in there,
No, you don't have very much stuff in there,
and,
yeah.
no,
I don't see any problem.
plenty of towel hangers in there, so I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do, is have him use the bathroom and shower inside there, then everything's all in the same septic, all that stuff.
Have him use the fridge, everything in there.
Yeah.
That way he doesn't run anything other than lights.
Yeah, don't use the fridge, you can use that for storage, everything, so it's just lights.
Right.
All he needs is lights, and until he gets a solar panel, until he can afford the solar panel, Because I think he can get
Well,
solar.
microwave, I don't see
I think-
an issue with him using microwave every once in a while in there, it being a problem.
But I want it to all be run off solar. That's the thing, I don't want him powered up to anything. I want him to just be self-contained. But we have to decide, are we gonna wanna put him, where are we gonna wanna put him? He needs to be able to run a space heater.
You can buy solar panels, I think it.
Yeah, I don't think
anywhere.
I don't think a solar panel would be more than $200, but I don't know how to wire it down with the battery, I don't know how to make it
I
work.
think they make special
guys,
ones for RVs.
Simple?
Here's the
Super
thing.
simple, yeah.
I
Especially with
can't
RV
find
setup.
any of this stuff, so this video might be really
I
long.
believe it's like 2 wires, they go to the battery,
I know.
charge it, you know what I mean?
So basically, everything's running off the car battery and the battery is
And I'm gonna
charged from the solar panel.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's where the angel broke
You just gotta
out.
buy your solar panel, you can get in
Oh,
Home Depot
junk
or
food.
Lowe's or anywhere,
Guys,
probably
this
Harbor
is
Freight has them
basically about Bendy.
nowadays.
And he tries to.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy another RV place, they're gonna,
Oh yeah, they're way too expensive.
Yeah, they do have them at Harbor Freight.
I don't think.
I think I've seen them on Harbor Freight
elevator
before.
was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely.
Well,
for that
Maybe you
reason,
guys
for that
gotta go-
purpose only, there's a lot of people that have trailers out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
that have no way
Totally,
of,
totally
you know what I
off.
mean?
Right there.
yeah.
You guys gotta go in on a dryer together.
Hey, what's over here? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, haven't you wanted to have a dryer?
Hey, let's.
Yeah, I guess. I have wanted to have a dryer, I just hadn't really put too much thought into it, I guess.
I mean, how are you drying all your underwear and stuff?
Just hang it all up.
Come on. I can't find.
Most time when I do it, I try to do it like on Friday when nobody's gonna be in the shop on Saturday and Sunday, and then I hang all my shirts up in there, you know?
You find them every time.
And then they're dry by Sunday morning, you know?
It's locked.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, do we want to, do we want to keep Donnie, do we want him on the side where the trailer's already at? Or do we want to put it, because my thinking by putting it over on your side was that in the summer, it would shade the shop and and your room wouldn't get so hot. But now I'm feeling like, well, maybe that's counterproductive because
And then he's gonna need to run that.
he's gonna need to run that all the time, because he'll be hit harder than anybody else. But
Right.
where he's at, he'll be shaded from the
Because
sun.
the insulation in there is so minimal
Yeah,
that it turns into a hot box in the summertime and it's cold in the wintertime
yeah.
because there is no insulation. So you're having to run a heater all the time and an AC all the time. So the more you can keep that in the summertime, keep it shaded, the better off you are. And even in the
Yeah, because I think if we had better coverage in your windows, window coverage, and in the stock room, get better window coverage, it would
cool down that.
cool down better, because those curtains that are up in there kind of suck. They're not very,
They're not very energy.
they're like transparent, you can see through them, they need really big, thick ones.
Yeah. Yeah, you need like solid black. Learn how to use that sewing machine yet?
What do you think, Mama? You think we should keep him on the other side? Or keep it cooler, because
Yeah.
the studio already is what the studio is. I kind of thought if we had something to shade it, I was originally thinking the trailer needed to be moved to that side to shade the studio to keep it cooler. But then I guess I didn't really change my mind when I realized that
Okay.
Donnie would be living in it. So then that's kind of counterproductive, because then he's gonna have to run things longer because he's gonna be in the sun. Whereas if he's on the other side, he'll still have to run the heater, but it'll be a lot cooler. I don't know what to do when summer comes, but that's a ways away. I mean, if he could still invest in a solar panel to power his basic living power, that'll be enough to go by summer. I mean, we don't know. Anything can happen with him. He could fall off the
What
wagon
about
again.
what about
and
the what if
be
he
gone.
what if he runs the generator for the AC?
I thought about that too, because with the generator, if we hook the generator up to it, he could power the AC.
You could use the generator.
It would
to
just-
power the
it would
AC.
just
He
cost-
has to buy gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to buy the
That
gas.
would be up to him.
Be up to him to run it. That's probably the best idea. then we don't have to worry about any additional. But that's, basically that AC, the gas to power that AC lasts about 7 hours. And that's the maximum. It lasts 7 hours, no, if it's
How much
totally,
gas goes in there?
it's not much, like,
Was it 3-gallon generator, or was
it's
it?
like that, it's like that much a cell, it's not huge, it's about that.
Thanks.
I wanna say that we had, gosh, how much gas did we put in it when we were using it all the time? Seems like I had a pretty big gas tank, and I was filling it mostly with that, with a 5-gallon. And it would fill it mostly.
Yeah, if he could run the AC during the day just cool enough to keep it from
Yeah, in the
getting
summertime,
super duper hot in there, you know, then,
No, he even suggested it too. I was like, we were talking about the generator, he's like, I could just run the generator to do the AC when it's hot. And just buy that, and I was like, no, I don't think we wanna do that, I think it might be too expensive, but maybe
he
it's
may not be
fine.
spending as much time in there as I was, you know what I mean? I never did anything, so I was home all the time, so in the summertime, you know, I was running it every day. And if you were doing it, if he was running it every day in the summertime, he said it ran for about 7 hours, then you'd have to fill that up every other day, and that would be like almost $5 a day.
So maybe just have him buy a battery for the generator, put it out there, might as well hook it up, run the cords so they're hooked up,
Yeah.
and then he can turn on the generator whenever he wants to run like the microwave or something like that. Just have him buy a solar panel.
When he wants to run the AC, you're gonna need a generator. I guess. Go from there, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, put the generator out there. Only problem is I was hoping to put that generator on the van when we made it a thing.
well, maybe we can get a sponsor for a new one.
Dada, can you talk a little bit?
No.
Quiet.
They have generators at Harbor Freight too, I mean, but I don't know how good they are.
They're not good. We bought the cheaper generators and they'll say 4,000 watt amp and they're not. They'll say 4,000 watts and they're not. And you turn on the AC and it just kicks the breaker like instantly on the generator.
Right.
Very frustrating. And I did my research, talked to a bunch of people. The only ones that you can count on being the actual wattage that they claim is Honda. When they say 4,000, it's 4,000 actual watts. It's not anything else. Well,
Yay.
we could hook it up and he could use it when he needs to, and then we'll just worry about what to do when summer comes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we really need to worry about that too much. I'm a little worried about, like, where's his boy gonna be all the time? I mean, they don't come over that much, and that's a whole other separate thing. I don't understand, like, why those two don't live together. I don't really understand that.
Oh, here.
Donnie and his girlfriend,
Oh,
and their son.
Thank you.
I don't understand why they're living separate lives.
Hey.
is she the mother?
Yeah.
Of course, you're not helping.
I was,
For
for
me.
some reason, I was thinking that
Hey, where is this going down?
his son was from another girl.
Well, his son's always with her. Son's
Right, I thought she was just watching him.
just watching him. No.
Yeah.
You know, they don't see each other that often, but they do. I have a little bit of concern, like
Oh,
where his son. I mean, they take good care of him. They watch him, you know.
I
I don't foresee it being a problem. It's just going to be, you know, seeing him on a pretty regular basis. He'll be around,
Okay.
which you see him kind of, you know, regularly anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about the trailer too, and like, you know, cause there's that one bed in there, which is not very comfortable. They got two other little beds on the toy hauler area.
Huh?
But I told him, I says, I put my queen bed where the toy hauler went. I said, that was really good for me, you know.
Because you it's just the two beds that fold down, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah, I
and
just
then
folded those down and I put my mattress,
Yeah.
box spring and mattress on top of those.
Yeah.
That's how I did it, it worked out great.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
He's like, well, I just have a twin mattress, I'm like, well, that's even better.
Yes, level
Well, that twin mattress is mine that I want to use anyway, so you might as well use yours, because you're not gonna use it. You've got new mattress in your bedroom anyway, right?
No, that's the same bed that I have in the trailer.
Oh. It is? Do you have a queen bed?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
I took
Okay,
it out of the trailer when I got the room.
so he'll probably just use that same mattress then. I was thinking that one mattress was still in there.
Unless he doesn't have a box spring, does he?
11.
He doesn't have a
I'm
box
level
spring,
9
it
because
doesn't
we're
work.
I'm level.
You have to put a piece of board down or something.
Because, but don't the two chairs match, hit? Don't they, no, there's a gap.
Yeah, you can.
Oh,
Okay, we're on level 11.
really?
Yeah, so you'd have to lay a board down and then just bed on that or something. So it's a huge issue.
Well, that wouldn't be too hard to fix that. I mean, it sounds like he could even, the twin mattress is so small, he could just have the one folded down and sleep on that. Because the one, they fold down and it's a pretty wide bed.
Yeah, maybe.
They're just it's just a twin mattress. But then, I don't know where his girlfriend would sleep.
Yeah, I don't know if I would trust both of them on a twin mattress on one side. I want to bridge the gap there.
No, go lay down.
Daddy, you can eat the rest of your slippers.
You can.
Oh, where's my stuff right?
I don't know, where'd you put it?
No, it's up on the counter probably.
All right, well, I think we could just try it out and just stick to that he needs to get a solar panel to power his power. Basically, he can't plug into anything. He's just a box out there, but we need to jack it up, maybe have him pay for jacks to get it level, like adjustable jacks, so it will be up off the tires.
Well, I got the two jacks down in the back.
Oh, that's not for body weight though. Like that's for stabilization, it's not to lift it up with, those jacks.
Yeah, that's just when you're parked somewhere.
It's just to keep you stable. They're not meant to lift the trailer up. They're not heavy duty jacks like that.
You have to lift the trailer up.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to have it sit for long periods of time on the tires. They'll rot. And we did that with you when you were in there, like we left it alone for a really long time. No, go lay down.
Yeah.
And you're not really supposed to do that. So with him moving in there, we gotta put him up on blocks or something. Put the trailer up on blocks so it's level and not sitting on the tires.
I imagine it'd be okay with just like 4 jack stands.
Yeah, just have him buy 4 jack stands.
Yeah, then buy 4 jack stands and just
Adjust
jack
them.
it up and then adjust them and sit it down.
Problem with the jack stands is they might stick in the dirt because they're kind of a,
You know, just cut out a piece of board or something, square it in.
that's why I thought the cinder blocks, you know, because they're just big and square. But if it's a little bit out of alignment, it might be kind of hard to adjust that. You know?
Yeah, it would be.
And if the trailer really gets moving, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
If he gets, because that kid's pretty rambunctious,
Okay.
his son. So I don't know, maybe jack stands are the best way to do it. You just have it up on jack stands so the tires are, they could even be touching a little bit, but the weight's off of them.
Right.
And jack stand might be the most stable way, because it's one big pole, it's a big pin,
Right.
it's just stable, whereas the blocks, they're stacked, if it moves, I don't know, would it fall off? I don't know. I can't imagine it being that rough in there, but it might be.
Well, you have to think though, if it comes off the jack stand, it's not gonna go real far, you know?
And the door is-
Land on the tires,
Mom, look at the dog.
you know, especially if you have your stabilizers down as well, you know, I don't see it
Yeah.
She's letting my legs
coming off.
stretching out.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of was gonna let them use that area on the other side as a porch, like if they wanted to have a little outside area, they can.
Guys.
Maybe they can do that somewhere else, I
Okay,
don't know.
guys.
Back where Randy was parking his van,
Yeah.
that little area.
They can put some furniture there if they want. I think he'll be a good tenant, you know, and I think he's responsible and like takes care of things. You know, I don't really know what was going on in his life back then when he would just vanish like that. I don't know, and
I think
hopefully that'll never happen again, but I mean, I don't know if anything is a given, you know?
Well, he'll be more accountable though being here because it's not like
Yeah.
he can hide
It'll
from
be,
you.
it'll be
you
less
know?
likely he'll fall off the wagon here.
Because he can't. It's gonna screw up his
Yeah.
living
We'll
situation
know,
too.
we'll know what's going on right away, you know,
Yeah.
and
That's
yeah.
what concerned me, like when you went to Japan. Like very next day. No, they didn't show up.
Well, and nobody told me about it, which I was like,
You know?
not one person told, I had to find out myself. Nobody told me. Nobody thought to message me, to
I didn't
Facebook.
wanna worry you while you were in Japan.
Well, I
I
didn't
didn't
know
want
about
to
that
take
stuff.
away from your, with church and all that. You know, it's like, let Max worry about Japan,
I gotta know about that stuff though, that's a pretty big deal.
you know?
Certain things I gotta know about. If it's petty things, then we don't need to know about it,
Right.
but. All right, well, I think all we could do is get him set up on some jacks and a, solar panel, and then just set it up, and then we'll deal with summer when it comes, but I think the generator is the best thing. Just have him pay, you know, every time he wants to run the generator, he's gotta pay $6 in gas, or $10 in gas a day if he's gonna run the AC. He's gotta fill it, and he's gotta run it, if he wants to do it, you know?
And you want to run every day, you gotta think, a month, and, you know,
Yeah.
a couple $100 a month fuel.
Yeah, I can't pay for all that. I can't pay for it. I can't pay for everybody else's power. I'm happy to pay for the water usage in the shop and the refrigerator usage that people are using, use of a microwave, use of a toaster oven, any of that stuff, I'm happy to pay for.
Yeah, your bill is not gonna change,
Guys,
really,
this is
by
so
him using that stuff. You know, not by much.
No, I don't think so at all. I think he's pretty low maintenance
the
with that, but
Yeah, that stuff is getting used.
I think if it's on the other side of the shop too, you know, we can kind of give him use of that driveway, as long as he leaves
Show
the
them
space
to the
clear, we can drive a car through if we need to.
Show.
But they could pretty much park over there,
I will please.
or, you know, he could continue to park where he's parking, that doesn't bother me, but it would make more sense if he was just able to park where the Prius is. I don't know where we're gonna put the Prius, but ideally the Prius would be something that's getting driven.
Yeah,
Susie Candle, Susie
So
Candle.
we can just have him park where he's been parking for now, and we'll deal with that later. Excuse you. I heard that. Another thing you should probably know about is that we are seriously considering letting you-know-who go. Christy. Her and I got into it pretty big on Friday over something that was totally, you know, she was going off about something being really, I don't remember what she was saying, and then I said something to the point of that the economy was good and house prices are up, and she just like lost her shit. And no, it's not. We're gonna have a huge crisis, and everything's gonna be horrible, and the economy's gonna take a dive, and people. And so she like just wanted to argue with me back and forth about it. I was like, okay. And then that turned into she was like practically yelling and bawling about how I was a sexist and I didn't treat her the same way I treated you guys, because I didn't have meetings with her, I only had meetings with you guys. I gave you guys a Christmas bonus and I didn't get hers, even though she wasn't there that day. And what was the other reason? She had a few reasons why I was a sexist and I treated her differently than other people. And which really doesn't bother me, because I think it's totally, you know, her crazy mind at work. It's not normal things.
yeah, she brought up a little while back about the banquet dinner.
Oh, that's when she broke up. She said too, she says, you didn't even think to invite me to the banquet dinner. I would have really liked to go. And I says, well, you know, I apologize, but I only had 2 tickets to take 2 people. And in the last minute, Peter invited a 3rd person. But we only got 2 tickets, so there was one other guy. The only other guy that came was just a last minute thing. But that was fair complaint. That was just something I overlooked. But I mean, you have to imagine that her attitude was very much like she doesn't want to be part of anything after work.
No.
She wants to go to her room, be left alone. She didn't even want to be there. I had to tell her she had to go, you know? And all this stuff isn't really a big deal because you can have disagreements with people at work and you can talk through them and work it out. That's just part of working with people every day. It's fine. That doesn't bother me. I don't mind if people disagree with me and they have that, but they just have to be respectful. And I felt like she was pretty heavily bordering on disrespectful. And I told her, and I was like, Christy, you know what? I fight with you all the time about painting. And painting is what pays the bills around here. And I feel like I got to fight, you know, and you're on the computer all day long, and about 1:30, you start to get some painting done. And you can't get anything done in 2 hours. And I feel like I've told you numerous times, and you resist me on it. And so basically, well, Matt, it makes me so sick. And I said, Christy, look, here's why you don't have credibility with this. Because I know that you guys smoke, I know that you have an inhaler, and I know that you smoke cigars. That's fine. I really don't care. But the point is you can't complain about a little bit of paint fumes when you're just like this all the time with everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah.
You fill your body with junk and you want to complain about a little bit of paint fumes? I said, Christy, you're an artist. And she goes, yeah, but I get none of the accolades. It's not my work. I get none of the accolades. I go, that's what the money's for, Christy. It's not your business. That's why I pay you. Because you're doing a job. And she just like stopped and she was like, yeah, you're right. You know, she said that. She's like, you're right.
No.
That is what the money's for. I was like, no shit. You know, at some point she just started to feel like we owed her something. And here I am busting my butt trying to make payroll every 2 weeks, which is huge. It's a big sum for somebody who's obviously harboring discontent.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I killing myself
Yeah, true.
to do this when it's like the performance isn't there, she doesn't have the passion.
Yeah, she's constantly making mistakes that we have to pay
Constantly.
for.
I can't tell you, she messes up an order nearly twice a week.
And a lot of
she's doing
times
it
she
3.5
messes
years.
it up multiple times.
She'll mess it up multiple times. Like she'll send somebody something, and then she'll send something else to them before anything's happened. She'll send them multiple orders, and one of them's wrong. So then the client will get one order, and it's wrong, and they'll write me and be like, hey, I got the wrong order, and then Christy sends out another thing, and then they got the other thing in the mail that was correct. So they end up getting like 3 packages, one of which was wrong, and one of which is a double. And who's got to pay for it? Me.
It's so hard for me.
Yeah, she's obviously not happy at all.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. She can't even be bothered to open up the studio when she shows up in the morning. She leaves the door locked almost every time.
right.
You know, and I feel like she goes through the shop just so she won't have to do that. Like, have to get up and unlock the door.
Yeah.
It's just like another one of her little FUs, like, FU, I don't even, you know, like she just has that
My
attitude.
job description.
She just has that attitude like, I owe her something. So I think the way it's going to go down is just that. Because I've been, you know, putting up with that kind of stuff because she has kind of become like family because she's been here so long. And I've been putting up with that stuff because of the fact that she has been here so long and she has done a lot of good that she's been here. But then on Friday, when she starts going off about all this stuff that she's unhappy about, I just sat there and thought about it. And I thought about it all weekend, and I'm thinking, she's so unhappy, and she thinks all this stuff is wrong with her job. Here I am, busting my ass just so I can make her check. And she always asks other people, did we get paid on Friday? I'm like, you get paid every fucking Friday, Christy. She gets paid before everybody else does. And she's always worried that she's gonna get paid, and she's never not got paid on a Friday. Anytime she's gotten paid late, it's still been within 2 weeks, which is the normal time that people get their paycheck. Every normal job out there never pays you. You don't work a week and get paid at the end of the week. It's always you get paid the following week. Every job in the world that's on payroll. I'm the only one.
Because they need a week to process your hours,
Yeah.
and
So for her to have to wait another week is just standard. It's
Yeah.
just she's spoiled. But she doesn't see that I go out of my way to pay her early and to do these things for her, to let her,
Most jobs is-
eat her breakfast. What job lets you sit there and eat a breakfast meal when you first get to work? She's in there, she's gotta always be eating something. She can't do her work in the morning unless she's eating breakfast. She can't do her work in the afternoon unless she's eating her lunch. Then she's gotta have all of her drinks, and she's gotta have all this stuff, and it's just like, but I never bring that stuff up. I don't want to hurt her feelings, I don't make her feel bad, because I don't really care. I have my habits that I like to do at work that help the day go by, but I feel like her habits are kind of extreme, and she's never thought to thank me of it. She just expects it, and it's like she asks for a half-hour lunch, and it's like she'll go get lunch, come back 2 minutes late, and then sit and eat her lunch for an hour and a half after the fact. And it's like, I know she's got a rubber band thing on her stomach, but again, that's her own doing. That's something she's done to herself, but I've tried to accommodate her, but does she ever thank me for that? No. Does she ever say, thanks for letting me pick at my lunch throughout the whole day, that and snacks and everything else that I've got? Even though lunch ended an hour and a half ago, she never thinks to thank me for that. It's just, she just expects it. And it's like, I'm tired of killing myself to pay for someone's paycheck that doesn't appreciate it,
No.
And the other thing that's onto it is that Candace wants to come back into the work now that the kids are back at school full time, and they're basically gone for 8 hours during the day. How long are they gone? They get at the bus stop 7:19, and they come home 3:30. That's 6 hours, right?
8 hours.
Get on the bus at 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. So that's 8 hours until 3:30. So they get picked up. They get picked up at 3:30, right?
Give or take 10 minutes. No, I just moved them so the puppy wouldn't get them.
I was looking them with the
So
I know, but she's so.
I think that's going to go down tomorrow. But Candace and I still have to kind of sit down and talk it all through and make sure that that's what we want to do. And I feel like it's the right thing to do. I feel like it's money that we're spending on somebody that's not necessary, and it's clearly not appreciated. So why am I doing it? My
I kind
gut.
of feel like she's kind of on the verge of quitting anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can feel that.
Yeah, and she clearly doesn't like you very much.
Yeah,
And you don't really like her very much.
I know. When she took
You
those
know,
days
so
off
it's
for
like,
work, I was
why-
relieved to not have to see her. To be
Why
honest.
do you want to spend all day with somebody you don't really like very much when you have a choice not to?
Yeah.
You're the boss, so
Yeah.
you get to decide the people you surround yourself with.
Well, that's why I said to her in our argument, I was like, well, Christy, maybe it's time that you moved on. She's like, yeah, maybe it is. She's like, do you feel like I have any more advancement in this company? And I says, advancement is based on
Up to
merit
you.
around here.
Yeah.
I says, I am
Totally up
happy
to
to
you.
repay for people for how hard they work and how hard they do. And then she's like, well, I'm really upset that Donnie makes more than me, and he had all those days where he missed in the beginning. I'm like, Donnie doesn't make more than you. I'm like, where'd you get that? Oh, he doesn't make more than me? No, Christy, he doesn't. And also, that's private, what people make. It's none of your business. So I don't know
It's
where.
not something you should be discussing with
It's
each
probably
other.
Pete, Pete's just like a constant chatterbox about everything, so Donnie probably told Pete, and Pete,
That'll make production go up right there. You get rid of her.
yeah, people want anybody to talk to.
Right.
He proposed to his
Of course
girl,
it's
he proposed to his girlfriend over the weekend at the show that happened yesterday.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be one of these proposals where it's like, we're gonna get married in a year and a half.
Yeah.
It'll never work out with those two. They are so not that into each other.
No.
Not at all. He's
What
always
are you
like
doing?
complaining about her family and her friends and all that stuff, and he's just not into it.
No.
And also-
He sits there and bitches about.
Also, he didn't buy her a ring.
Oh.
He got her grandma's ring to give to her. So that shows you how much commitment there is. And there's like no ring that he bought. He just went and got grandma's ring. He's gonna give it to him. It's fine, and I don't wish them any ill will. I hope that it, but I just don't think it will. I think that
Can't have it.
they're just not that into each other,
You're good.
Not really. Not that adorable.
Hey,
Just sort of medium adorable. Average adorable at best.
totally is that true? It on my legs. She
You
should
smell,
have like it.
you smell sort of above average stinky.
Yeah, he's.
Well, I think that, clearly you're tuned into sort of like where she's at too, and you're not even in there all the time, but you're getting that vibe also. And she was saying to me something like, don't even, hey,
No.
no. She was saying something like, you don't even care to see when you see me. I'm like, every morning I walk in, I'm like, good morning. She's like, good morning. Every time. Good morning. Good morning.
Aren't you gonna ask me what's wrong?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Aren't you
It
gonna ask me
is.
what's wrong?
Yeah.
That's how I feel every
Which
time.
immediately makes you feel like,
Right.
I don't want to engage with this person.
I'm sorry, I don't want to know.
That's how
what
I
you're-
feel every time. In the morning, I avoid her at all costs because she gives off that vibe, like, aren't you gonna ask me what's wrong? And it's like, I don't care.
So just keep all this stuff to yourself, but as far as the official reason, it's laying off due to the position not being needed.
I know what's wrong.
Hey, we're going to level
People get laid
9.
off all the time when.
Let's go and return the thick ink.
That happens with companies all the time.
I cannot
You gotta save some
afford to
costs.
pay somebody for a job that they, first of all, resent.
Yeah, let's get
You know, second of all, she's not really making us any money.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem, is she doesn't make
You
us
know,
any money.
If she were like a total rock star in there and always
If she had the work
making
ethic of
stuff happen,
Carly, I would pay her.
Guys,
yeah,
we got
Carly would
super
paint
thick
all day
ink.
long and she wouldn't stop. The
and-
time she was
yeah,
there,
she was totally focused and you know, but she's not like that. She resents every what she deems to be extra work.
You have to
You
worry
know.
about whether she's on her shit or not all the time, you know,
oh yeah, she'll do it right in front of me too.
She's always complaining about, oh, the internet's not working.
Always, yeah, that was her thing for a while, and finally
It's
we
their own damn fault.
we resolved it with Church's phone being down there, so then she didn't have that to complain anymore about.
Well, the phone company she was with, the phone company she was with fixed it.
Yeah, that's
I was
true.
worried sick because my phone was gone.
Yeah.
What you told me?
Worried sick.
Oh, what do we need to do?
You know, her
Collect
cell
3
company
valve
gave her a
cords, solve the
mobile
heat
tower
tubes
thing.
on
She
the-
didn't want to use it because of the radioactive waves.
Right, radioactive
Beep,
waves.
beep, beep,
But
beep.
her and Bodie are just gonna
Hey,
smoke
let's
like
go to
fish
level
at that house with everything else, and you
Guys,
know
we're going on to level P.
that's not affecting them in
That's
any
why
way.
she's worried about radioactive waves.
Having your ankles this big around, that's not gonna affect your health in any way. Having,
No.
you know, it's like, you gotta be kidding me. You're worried about radioactive waves and you're worried about paint fumes? Not the 435
P. Okay.
numbers on that scale.
Well, and considering the amount of ventilation that's down there and the amount of, I mean, I used to paint when I was pregnant and it never bothered me.
Yeah.
You know,
The thing
and
that
that was
kills me-
in a little apartment,
She,
you know.
she sits down there with a
We're
dust
on
mask.
level P.
It does nothing for fumes. Nothing.
It's because she wants to prove a point. This is hurting me so bad.
I'm afflicted.
I'm afflicted so bad I have to wear this mask. It's just a poor
It
me
just
thing.
makes her look like an idiot because dust masks does catch dust particles, not fumes.
Yeah, the fumes are a lot smaller than dust.
Mama, how many
Yeah,
types
it does her no good.
3.
Well, we have to figure out like what other repercussions, like what, you know, because I'm anticipating her being very disgruntled because she already is. And I really could care less about what she's going to
Well,
say to me, but I'm anticipating what things.
Two big arguments is that her job's not hitting anymore, Candace can be working. 2, you can't afford to pay her.
Yeah,
I have to figure out, you know, with Candace wanting to work.
yeah.
Well, I think
I can't
that
pay you
we-
when Candace can do your job.
Right.
Yeah, I think that we need to, first of all, change our PayPal password.
Well, that's the one thing we have to do. I think
Before
PayPal,
she
eBay.
comes in for the day.
Facebook, all that.
Yeah, I think we just have to have a list of everything that we have to change, and we got to do that first thing. We got to do
Before
PayPal,
she comes
Facebook.
in the day of, before she knows what's going on, it's
Right.
all the stuff's already been changed,
Yeah.
you know, just,
She's the type of person though to like call the IRS and try to stir something up with that. But I can't control that. If something happens with the IRS, then we'll just,
Yeah.
because all of our books are straight,
so be it, yeah.
but I can't imagine her saying something. But, you know, she has to
I don't
imagine
really
that
see
that
her-
goes both ways though. Like if she's gonna contact the IRS, she would be in as much trouble as we would.
Right.
Because she's also been working with us and not paying taxes on it.
Exactly.
So she has as much to
Yeah,
lose
so
as we do.
yeah, I don't think she would do anything like that, honestly. I think she would go home, she'd cry about it for a minute, and then she'd be like, you know what, this is what I wanted anyways.
Yeah. And that's what Bodie would say, and then she'd start looking for another job.
Exactly.
And she's not gonna make as much as she was making here. And she's gonna feel a little bit bad that she took for granted that this job was so much freedom and pretty decent pay.
Yeah, I mean, she she never had to work when she didn't want to work, you know? I mean, she only had to deal with the money that she wasn't making, but it wasn't like, I mean, she had less accountability than you would at a restaurant, you know?
Yeah.
You couldn't work at a restaurant, it was your responsibility to find somebody else to work for you. She never had to do that here.
No.
You know, she didn't get paid days off or paid sick leave or anything like that, but she had no repercussions as far as the days that she missed. You know, we never made her work extra days or, you know, find a replacement or anything like that, you know? I mean, a lot of jobs do not afford you that flexibility, you know? She got to set her own schedule. She decided that she wanted that schedule, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, anytime her daughter called and said something was wrong, you know?
I've got an emergency.
My cat is sick, or my best
I sit there and I listen to
my
her get
best
texts.
friend's dog died, I can't come in today.
Yeah. So ridiculous.
Really? Your best friend's dog died? Any other place, if you gave that sort of excuse, they would fire you on the spot.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
that's not something that's on the list here of excuses.
She was going on about how her cats were bleeding out of their mouths. The cats were bleeding out of their mouth. You want me to just leave them alone so they sit home and die? I go, Christy, that's a personal problem. That's not my problem.
Right,
That's a personal problem, things that you have to deal with your family.
right.
You know? But honestly, I don't care if you want to take a day off. It's just letting me know an hour before.
Guys.
You know, you didn't suspect that you might need to take a day off.
Oh my.
Cats just all started bleeding from their mouths this morning. And we're all fine, but then this morning, bleeding from their mouths.
I'm going for work this morning and they're all bleeding from the mouth.
Oh. What's happening? Oh. Hey.
And it just so happens to be New Year's.
Yeah, you're bleeding.
That's what I said to her. I
You're
said,
bleeding from the mouth a little bit yourself.
that's what I told her. I says, it just seems sort of convenient to me that it was on a Friday of a weekend that you had Monday and Tuesday off.
Right.
It just looks suspicious to me. Whoa! She just lost her mind.
Oh my
But
God.
anytime you deal with somebody who's mad and crying, it's like you won the argument. You already won.
Guys.
But you know, I mean, we worked to a resolution. We were like, let's do some things different, and everything ended
boring.
amicably, and everything was fine, and we parted on good terms, but then after I left, I went to the house, I just was filled with just uneasy. I was just filled with discontent. I was like, man, I'm busting my ass to make her paycheck. And then she has the nerve to say that to me and to accuse me of these horrible things. And it's like, what am I doing? You know, I'm just
paying a lot for guilt.
It's like, I'm not gonna pay somebody who's unhappy anyway. I gotta pay you and try to make you happy.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to make me happy.
What happened to your pants?
I took them off because my pants were wet. Sandy, please, not my pants.
Oh, go put new ones on.
Sunday peeing. I love a relaxing Sunday of peeing.
Alright, I'm gonna go and throw some shit away before it's dark.
Alright. So just keep all that stuff to yourself, but
Yeah.
Pete won't be here in the morning, so you might get some craziness with her coming out to say goodbye. I'm anticipating that happening.
Pantsless. But she'll be.
Hopefully she'll be calm about it, but I'm not foreseeing that.
No.
Sunday's fur looks like a little old lady that needs to get a dye job again. The dye job, the roots have grown out. No. Be nice, don't you bite.
Yeah.
Don't you bite.
But my name's not Aaron. My name is Ace. Why did Alice call me Aaron? My little Aaron boy. I'm not little. How dare you? Church? I don't think you should be screaming on a YouTube video. Start making a.
So you need to wipe. You don't even know how to wipe yourself.
Right.
I actually do. Anyways, this is a YouTube channel.
He does.
My channel is called the Tutu Bada Booty the Bendy.
YouTube channel.
Tutu channel? What's a tutu channel? Come on, Boris, come up here. I finally got all of the pipes. I got 3 pipes. Okay, there he is.
So what, we create a list of things we need to change right away?
Well, Mom. Alice Angel. I know. It's Alice Angel. It's Alice Angel. Alice Angel. I know that. Alice Angel is creepy. Oh, is this long line? It's already level one.
Completely new password.
It's so funny. Okay, that slipped me so much.
Use regularly.
Guys, this is a really fun game. Okay. Hi, she's quite a gal. I'm gonna give you your galness stuff. Okay?
So it has to be.
Are you gonna give me a Tommy gun?
Never use for anything. She knows the ones that we like to use regularly.
Okay, what are you gonna give me?
Yeah, I don't
What are
think
you gonna
she'd
give me?
steal
What are
anything,
you
but
gonna get me?
I'm also not gonna
I'll
risk
ask.
any of that stuff.
We need to destroy all Bendy cutouts. Okay? I'll destroy Bendy. On level what? Mama, what level do we need to go on?
I guess I did.
Oh, level K, okay. Let's go to level K. Okay, let's go to level K. So Magnus, why are you biting your arm? Magnus is biting his arm. Okay, level K. Was it? Yeah, level K. Okay. Let's go to level K and destroy all the Bendy cutouts. So we can get really mad at me. I don't think Bendy gets mad at me. Huh? Are we going so fast? Okay, this is level K, okay. Destroy all Bendy cutouts. I know where a bunch are because I saw a bunch of them. Oh my gosh. Where's he destroying my Okay, we destroyed that Bendy. What else is there a Bendy cutout? Where are you? Ah! Wow, one hand, he just died. Okay, there's a guy gonna pop out right there. Is there? No, not possible.
It's fire time.
Oh no, Daddy, please don't make a fire in the house.
Fire time.
It's fire time. It's fire time. It's fire time.
And destroyed that Bendy cutout. Wow, there's like a bunch of Bendy cutouts.
You know with your hot dog?
Yes. Do you guys think I should chop Alice? Okay, who wants me to chop Alice?
I do.
Okay, well then you need to watch. Church, do you want to watch me chop Alice? Because I'm going for it.
Okay. And then when Alice dies, she turns into good. What?
Okay.
Logs, mommy?
Okay, guys, do you really want me to chop Alice?
No, that's a cute Alice.
Chop Alice.
No.
We can't chop her. So, Church, you didn't really have to worry. But anyway. I didn't. Let's even chop a bunch of them.
Okay, we're gonna watch a movie soon, bud, so you gotta get finished up, alright?
Okay,
It's time for chillaxing.
relaxing.
Look at your little dog.
I don't know how much Bendy cutouts we need to chop. But I'm ready to get chopping. That's one thing I know.
I don't know, it feels like the right
Oh my
thing to
gosh,
do.
you always pop out
Feel
here.
like it would decrease my
What's the matter?
stress.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Chop that Bendy cutout. Chop that Bendy cutout. Help me! Bendy is chasing me! Help me! Bendy is chasing me! Bendy is chasing me! Hi, Bendy is chasing me! Yeah, it's definitely Bendy time. Bendy is definitely chasing me. I died. This has to matter like that. with my axe that's not in my hand now. I'm going through the bottom of a monster. Ew, I don't. Oh no. 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 He did this to me. I'm ready to get shot and then put me in a Okay guys, I don't know how this video is going to end, but I don't think we're going to finish chapter 3 when it ends. The video is going really well. Right guys? Are you happy? But when my dad was talking, you didn't really hear me talk, right? I was trying like a punch. I wish I could chop you. If I chop you out, love that. I hate you even a lot. I'm so loud. Bendy isn't here. Because last time Bendy was like eating me up. I was right about for cutting this one.
A month, now it's all up to the last minute.
Well, that's been more than
How tired are you?
been not living in that.
Well, yeah, but nothing was planned with it, it's a month.
How tired are you? How tired are you? I know that. Alice. Oh my gosh. What if he gets me? Oh no, this is scaring me so much. I'm running. I'm literally running. I'm pushing the run button. I'm going crazy right now. I'm not gonna die by Bendy. No. Run away, no, run away. And he hates it when Alice does that. Oh my gosh, I don't have time to fight you. Bendy's chasing me. Bendy's gonna chase me so bad. Guys, did you hear Alice? Bendy hates it when we do that. So we need to. What's wrong with you? Horse, why were you? Level 9, quit. Zal said Bendy hates it when we do that. I don't know why I'm saying that a bunch of times.
That one I dropped and it just piled out a bunch of termite drops.
Tell me. We don't have to worry anymore. Because that's where Bendy was all the time.
Make sure you. Make sure the
Make
food's
sure
all-
you don't do it.
Hi, Alice. It looks like I got all the stuff for you. This is my first time playing chapter 3, so you better give me nothing. Cause
Kill them all. Just wait on the steps. Wait for them to come to you.
oh, they wanna.
Just let them. Just stay there.
While you
come
close
to
the
you.
door.
I know, but there's some. The butcher gang. Fight the butcher gang, okay? I don't know what the butcher gang looks like. No, I don't. The butcher gang is really big. Come on, come here. I'm not gonna stay on the stairs. I can't wait. I got the teeth head guy. I'm gonna kill you. Okay, that was fun.
That's the first butcher gang.
I got the blob.
At least I think.
And I got the crazy Bobby guy. Here, Daddy, put in 5 in there. 5. Open. I want to see what I get. Little piece.
Just wait right there.
Baby
Wait,
lip.
wait right by that thing.
Okay.
Right
What's
there.
she gonna give me? What's she gonna give me?
Yes. She is going to. Hey. Lay down. Lay down. Come here. You too. Lay down.
Lay down.
Hey.
Lay down.
A Tommy gun!
Get it, get it, get it.
Wait,
Oh.
what?
Lay down.
Oops, I forgot it.
Collect 5 ink hearts from down below.
Oh, it's chapter 14! The level we couldn't go to. Let's go to chapter 14. I love chapter 14. You know, I never saw what chapter 14 looked like. Hey, let's just grab our little pieces apart. Or still going down. For 10 minutes, they're not going to give me a question. All you do is stand and clear. I hate that. Is always here? I don't know if always here. That's something good. I got a food.
You put your little jacket in the laundry chute, church?
What?
You put your little jacket in the laundry chute?
What is that?
But I did spray it with the stuff.
Right here? Oh, okay.
Oh, Mom? Why are you there? Can you slip my phone in?
Oh, it's slippery.
Sorry.
There it is.
Popped up in my head.
Okay, can you put your purse in your room for me, please? Don't want it to get burnt up.
Oh, right.
Hey, oh, stop.
You're the best.
Stop.
Hey, Dad, look, I'm pregnant.
Looks like a camera face I did that. Gross, the camera
You
face
get
did
pregnant
that.
when you're married and he's the nicest man in the world. That is almost as good as your dad. And I'll allow it. But he better be really cool.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys.
We're gonna have sex.
When you're married,
Sorry,
Will,
sorry.
married's a special kind of, has a kind of special
Oh my
kissing
gosh,
deal.
that's the projectionist. Look at all strawberry stuff. There he is. That's the projectionist. Projectionist, do you want a hit in the back? Want a hint? I'm somewhere behind you. Oh my gosh, that is a projectionist. I am gonna stop. literally scared. Hi, projectionist. I only need one more heart, I think. How many ink hearts do we need? I think we need 5 ink hearts.
Who's chasing you?
The projectionist! Oh my gosh, guys. We should never done this. We should never played chapter 3. The projectionist is following me. And my sister is watching me too. Look, everybody watches it. Everybody's lying there and watch other people. Somebody help me, because I don't want to get boo-boo from you. Gosh, that guy was literally all pieces from the pieces. Bananas! Bye-bye, Peabody.
It's the thing you're rubbing the TV for them.
Oh, sorry guys. I was too distracted by projectionist. Sorry, projectionist, but you're never gonna win. I only need one more heart.
How are we doing? Having a hard time? Wet. Need some fierce heat.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get me.
He's so crazy.
See what I mean? This is the game that is the hardest. Only one more. One more heart. Mommy, where do you think the heart would be?
You got 4 already?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this way down.
Okay, buddy, wrap it up. We gotta watch a movie soon.
But Daddy,
What?
I need to find one more heart.
Oh, he's coming. Oh, the other way.
Come, you dog. I love you. I love
Makes that sound.
I only need one more.
All right, I feel pretty good about that.
Mommy, one more heart. Guys, if you're watching this, you better be scared. Because I am total scared right now.
Oh, eggshells and everything, huh? See how they burn.
That's got nothing to do. Try that out.
Ah! No, is that where it is? No, 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 no.
Burn it.
I need one more heart. Daddy, don't stop this. I only need one more heart.
Don't stop this believing.
think you lost him. Huh. He doesn't go upstairs?
How do I find the last card?
No. No.
Let's check what's over here so I can get the last card. Oh, there's literally nothing. Okay, guys. Comment down below if you ever seen the last card. Okay, let's see what else this thing to do. My neck is literally hurts right now because madness. Thought you were like yesterday. Okay, projections. Mama, where's the last card? Why the projection is making me mad?
Hey Mom, these guys are spending overnight selling in a furniture store and they found my tent. My little van tent with the green door and that window, you know?
Let me check how many more minutes. Okay. That's a lot of minutes. Okay. I don't know what's going on right. I don't know which way to projection is going. I'm just gonna have to roll with it. I went down. A definition of that. Guys, have you ever seen the last part? Or have you ever been down in between? Comment down below. I'm really scared. Rejection is a waste of time.
Not for you.
And I just went the wrong way again. Check sheets. Data there.
Go away.
Guys, I think the projection is first.
So how will our day play out?
Well,
I'll do 5:30 for real. Exercise till 6:30, right? Wake up kids. Get to the bus by 7:19. Then we go from there, get a drink, start our day
yeah.
in the shop, in the office until
Guys, well that's all I'm going to play for today of Bendy and the Ink Machine. Subscribe, hit the bell button,
When
and thumbs up, and make sure you should watch our videos. It's a crazy adventure.
See you next time.
See you next time, and I like our subscribers.
I find buy us both lunch.
Goodbye.